Professional wrestling in the United States. During this time, wrestlers were often athletes with amateur wrestling experience who competed at traveling carnivals with carnies working as their promoters and bookers. Grand circuses included wrestling exhibitions, quickly enhancing them through colorful costumes and fictional biographies for entertainment, disregarding their competitive nature. Wrestling exhibits during the late 19th century were also shown across the United States in countless athletic shows, or at shows, where experienced wrestlers offered open challenges to the audience. He became the world's champion by beating European wrestling champion Georg Hackenschmidt, both in 1908 and 1911, seen by modern wrestling historians as two of the most significant matches in wrestling history. Wrestling's popularity experienced a dramatic tailspin in 1915 to 1920, becoming distanced from the American public because of widespread doubt of its legitimacy and status as a competitive sport. Following the retirement of Gotch, professional wrestling, except in the Midwest, was losing popularity fast. Media attention focused on the illegitimacy of wrestling instead of its athleticism, and without a superstar like Gotch, no major personality reached a wide fan base. In response, three professional wrestlers, Ed Lewis, Billy Sandow, and Toots Mondt, joined to form their own promotion in the 1920s, modifying their in-ring product to attract fans. The three were referred to as the Gold Dust Trio due to their financial success. Rather than paying traveling wrestlers to perform on certain dates and combining wrestlers in matchups when they were available, they decided to keep wrestlers for months and years at a time, allowing long-term angles and feuds to develop. Their business succeeded quickly, gaining popularity for its freshness and unique approach to wrestling, a traveling stable of wrestlers. In addition, Zbyszko quickly dropped the title to Joe Stecher, a rival of Ed Lewis, making the situation worse for the trio. The trio responded by calling the Munn Zbyszko match illegitimate, and reinstated Munn as champion, but quickly had him drop it to Lewis. 1887 to 1950s edit. In 1948, wrestling reached new heights after a loose confederation was formed between independent wrestling companies. Fez's task was not easy, as some promoters, reluctant to lose face, went so far as to shoot title matches to keep their own champions popular with the fans. This was a time of enormous growth for professional wrestling, as rising demand and national expansion made it a much more popular and lucrative form of entertainment than in the prior decades. This was called a golden age for the wrestling industry. It was also a time of great change in both the character and professionalism of wrestlers as a result of the appeal of television. Wrestling fit naturally with television because it was easy to understand, had drama, comedy and colorful characters, and was inexpensive to produce. From 1948 to 1955, each of the three major television networks broadcast wrestling shows, the largest supporter being the Dumont Television Network. By the late 1950s, professional wrestling had lost its high ratings, and producers, realizing that they had overexposed it, soon dropped most wrestling shows from their lineups. The remaining televised wrestling promoters had small, local syndicated shows, which network producers placed as late-night fillers rather than signature programming. Promoters used localized television as a weapon for eliminating the competition by purchasing airtime from rival territories, effectively putting them out of business. The Nwa Territory System in North America. The NWA was the most dominant wrestling body in the 1950s, and numerous wrestling promotions had been under its leadership. Many promoters, however, viewed it as a tyrant, holding back innovative changes in the sport. It was during this time that several promoters found reason to leave the organization, managing to find niches in the United States. The most prominent of these were the American Wrestling Association, AWA, which became the most popular wrestling promotion during the 1960s, and the New York-based Capital Wrestling Corporation, later named Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Named the AWA World Heavyweight Champion soon after, Gagne was the top wrestler, and engaged in many feuds with heel wrestlers, most notably Nick Bockwinkel, and was the AWA's top draw until his retirement in 1981. Vincent J. McMahon also withdrew the Capital Wrestling Corporation from the NWA in 1963, as the NWA champion Lou Thesz was not a strong draw in the area, and in 1979 shortened Worldwide Wrestling Federation to World Wrestling Federation, WWF.